farm, fashion, future. Those could form the foundation of Kate Stevens' life. Hi, and welcome to the American Farmland Owner Podcast. I'm Dave Price. Kate Stevens grew up on her family's Century Farm near Great Falls, Montana. Wheat has been their primary purpose. But Kate wanted the world to know more. What is farm life really like? And especially that there is a place for young women like herself to have a future in it. So she started a YouTube channel. Did I mention she's only 20 years old now? That channel is called Kate's Ag Farm to Fashion. There are videos about her life, her experiences on the farm, and her fashion line. By the way, she is also a college student. She's busy, very busy, which explains why we talked to her as she was multitasking one night. She's running the combine for the wheat harvest. Hey, let's first start with the fact that this is pretty cool that you're like in action as we talk here. So explain to everybody what you're doing as we talk.
Yes, of course. Well, I'm in north central Montana sitting in our combine right now on my family's fourth generation farm, picking up swath winter wheat. So it's full swing harvest here and I love it.
And as we talk, it is almost 8 p.m. your time, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So how much sunlight do you have left?
Well, the sun's starting to set right now, but we don't see it totally go down until around 9, which is when we end for the night.
Okay, very good. Hey, let's tell everybody, you're a fascinating person with everything you have going on. How did you get to where you are?
Thank you. Well, I would say there's not a huge thought out backstory there, but my grandfather, who's 96, asked me to combine on our farm during harvest time, of which I was ecstatic and I loved it so much. I wanted to tell everyone I knew about the experience. And I realized that even Montana being a large agricultural state, not many people know where their food comes from or even much about the work that the families put in who produce it. So I thought, wow, I really need to help change this. And that's when I got a tripod and put it in the cup holder of my combine and started making YouTube videos, and it kind of took off from there.
As you well know, we can scour YouTube and we do not find a lot of young women doing what you are doing. It's a lot of dudes.
Yes, it is.
But that's something that's important to you, right? Because you talk about, you have all kinds of videos that you've already put out there, but it's very, very important for you to encourage other young women to look at this industry and for everyone to learn more about it, right?
Definitely. Well, I think agriculture as a whole is such a male dominated industry. And growing up, I never saw someone like me represented on the farm in a combine, driving these tractors and participating in managerial roles on a farm. So I hope to be the change in that direction. I've got a lot of YouTube channel comments about how girls had never seen another woman driving a combine before, and they didn't think that they could do it before watching my videos. So I think that that's really what keeps me going. I'm very passionate about showcasing that, you know, girls can do it just as good as the guys.
The industry itself, wheat has had some tough times here. How have you all done?
Yes, well, especially in Montana, we've been in a drought for many years, and we only get about 11 inches of moisture per year. And that includes snowfall. So it's been quite difficult times, and especially for those family farmers around us who have to make payments on their land and to machinery dealers. So we're putting all the money in the bank, and we're getting a pretty good harvest this year. So we're also hoping for prices to go up and just hoping we can maintain that generational farm.
You mentioned about the extended drought. What's it been like this year? Has it been as bad as the last couple of years?
We did get a little more rainfall and we've had kind of a wet spring. However, that's not the only component to get full heads in a wheat crop. We also had kind of mini off and on freezes, which made our wheat really big and fluffy, but not a huge amount of grain there. So it's a little bit better this year, but I'd say we're probably still in a drought.
Immediately to your left on the seat is your other facet of your life that makes this whole thing so interesting, the fashion side, right? How did that start?
Yes. Yes. Well, I've always been interested in fashion, and all of your natural fashion products start on the farm too. It's not just food. So that's when I realized it would be very cool to kind of bridge agriculture and fashion together and make my own products. So this is my Kate's Egg tote bag. That's 100% made in the USA, featuring a wheat design of a picture of the crop I took here on our Montana farm. So I really love designing, and I thought fashion is very mainstream, and maybe that's a way that I can help get the word about agriculture out and show the hard work of all those families producing these crops.
Okay, so you were how old when that idea hit you?
Oh goodness. I would say as I was kind of starting my YouTube channel, which is probably 4 years ago now.
Okay.
And since then, I've designed the tote bag, also a made and grown in USA shirt with a QR code that you're able to track the field it was farmed in, the farmers you're supporting when purchasing that shirt, and not only the farmer, also every other person down the production line. And in addition to that, I've also designed and manufactured a handbag is made out of cowhide leather and in the USA that features a wheat interior design and just some components to help share where this product came from and showcase the farmers when you wear it.
Where's all this coming from? Like, where are all these ideas coming from?
Goodness, well, I'm just so passionate to be out here harvesting on a farm that has been going for generations. There's nothing like the feeling of sitting in the combine and knowing that your great grandfather once worked the land hundreds of years ago. So I would say that's where my passion comes from. And then also just showing all the young girls out there that this is possible.
When you go back to school on the East Coast to college, because clearly a lot of those folks are not coming from a farm, right? And especially not from the heartland. Like, what do they want to know about your life? Are they shocked that there's this young woman who can, like, knows ag inside and out like you do?
Yes, I would say so. And also at how large scale Montana farming is and how different it is from the East Coast and really kind of all other parts of the world. It's a unique experience out here for sure.
What about the feedback as you're talking to people on YouTube? Obviously, YouTube's got its haters, so let's ignore the hater part. But the people who are genuinely learning from you and following you, rooting you on, all of that, as you connect to those people about the industry, what are those conversations like?
I do have to say it's been outstandingly positive, especially on YouTube. And not only me connecting with subscribers, people commenting, wanting to learn more about the process of our farm or other farms I interview, but also connecting with each other. It just is a platform to bring people together to talk about agriculture. And I've noticed a lot of people either don't have a connection with agriculture or maybe one generation down the line did. So they find it really to be able to see how all of this works, being so separated from it and in big cities.
What has your family thought about this? I was watching one of your videos last night, and I think you might have been in a pickup. I'm not sure. Your dad was driving. You're in a vehicle though. Your dad's driving. You're sitting next to him. You're making a video. You pan over with the camera to your dad, and you're like, "Hey, Dad, do you want to say something?" And he's like, "Nope." And then it goes back to you. What did they think about what you're doing?
Well, I think generally that just showcases my dad's humor. He's the same in person as he is on video, and that goes for every person in my family. I think that's what makes it so real. I've heard of agricultural YouTubers before kind of staging things on the farm to
Mhm.
make it look more interesting, but what you get here is the real stuff. And what they think of it, I would say, is they didn't really know what YouTube was or anything to do with what social media or what I'm doing now when I first started. So it was kind of smooth sailing. There would just be Kate's taking pictures in the combine. And then I think our neighbors started speaking with my family. Oh, she's uploading those to YouTube, and they were a bit
Mhm.
unsure of what even that was at the time. But after all of the positive feedback and opportunities, I think it's given me, and just community I've been able to build, they love it too, and they're more than happy and so supportive of me in that process.
Uh,
My dad even currently actually, oh sorry,
no, go ahead.
flies the drone to help give my dad even currently flies the drone to help give a better perspective of kind of how massive things are around here.
I was just going to say, like, looking at your shot right now is almost like from a movie because of the way you have the sunset coming on the left side of your body as you're going down the row in the combine. It is seriously like watching a scene in a movie right now.
And actually, it's really like that in real life as well. I had a friend from school come out and visit and kind of get to experience Montana Harvest, and he was astonished. It's just like all of those shows, and the sunsets are truly one of my favorite parts.
Okay, so where do you want to go? Like, where do you want to take this? I mentioned that you're going to college on the East Coast. So, what are your dreams? You're already doing so much, and you haven't even gone through college yet. You haven't finished college yet. So, where do you want to take this all?
Yes, well, in the immediate future, I'm happy to share that I'll be interning for Senator Tester in Washington, D.C., and he has a lot of kind of great agricultural based policies and things like that that I'm very interested to learn from. And long term, I'd really just, whatever platform it be on, want to continue bridging the gap between farmers and consumers, and showcasing farmers not only in Montana, but all over the globe, and helping people realize how important agriculture really is, and also how much work those families do.
Just listening to what you're talking about seems like a perfect example of what a lot of farm families do, in that now you may specify and focus on wheat here in your family perhaps, but this whole idea of kind of diversifying your life, and you are totally doing it in a modern way, obviously by doing YouTube plus the fashion line as well. But that whole diversification, like what's the mindset with all of that? Or is that just happens to be where all your interests are?
I would say it has a lot to do with where my interests are, but also farming is very broad. And I think I'm just very passionate about learning about all kinds of operations, one completely different from how I grew up. So those passions kind of led me in the direction to where I am now. And also realizing that if my platform can help other farmers and support their operations, when I know it is really difficult to be in the agricultural industry, that's exactly what I want to be able to do.
As you go
Sorry, I'm
through,
going to be unloading. Oh, unloading in the grain cart here on the go. So
oh,
you'll get a
nice,
little picture of that as well.
outstanding. We'll kind of take that in for a moment here.
You're welcome to continue.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, as you look at a lot of websites, just hearing the way you talk about the future, a lot of websites for ag related businesses are a bunch of men, and quite a few of them will have few, if any, women on there. What, how important is it for you to kind of grow women into this field and then kind of ascend through the ranks so they will be the ones running some of these companies? How important is that to you?
You know, I would say it's extremely important because representation for women in the agricultural industry is so small. So any any representation we can get is extremely important for our younger generation to grow up and think, wow, I can do this as well. And I would also say, even though there are not that many women represented in agriculture, any youth or any people represented is super important and integral for getting more people in the industry.
What's the hardest part about this life?
Goodness. I would say it can be very lonely at times on the harvest operation. You, of course, have the camaraderie of everyone around you. But being a farmer is very difficult, and many face numerous mental health issues because you don't have a working environment or a community to go to every day. And also your income is a little bit like gambling with the weather. So it can be quite difficult for those out there. And I think that's something great about YouTube is people are able to share those experiences, and I can maybe help bring a positive outlook to someone's day.
For those of us who did not grow up on a farm, the one thing that is striking about you that and it also sticks out to me from talking to a lot of family farmers in particular, as we set this conversation up and as we talk to you while you're actually in the combine, you have your mind set on essentially 9 o'clock, right? Because that's when you know the sun's going down and you're going to run out of daylight. And you're so matter of fact about the fact that you're going to work till 9 o'clock tonight. And it's not like you just, slept in till noon and started mid-afternoon, starting to work for the day. Like the work day is incredible, the commitment to pull this off from essentially sun up to sundown.
Yes, and I would say that was very difficult for me when I first started. I believe I was 15 years old, potentially 14, my first year combining, and the first 3 days completely wiped me out. I didn't understand how my dad could do this, or my entire family for that matter. And I remember saying in a YouTube video, if you can just get through the third day, once you're in the routine, it starts working out and you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, we really appreciate the conversation. It is fascinating and so impressive to watch you multitask, to actually have a conversation while you're doing your job at the same time and operate this big equipment. So fascinating to watch that in action, and we appreciate it. And what a great idea to do this as you're winding up the day so we can get the full experience. So thank you so much.
And so much for having me, watching your episodes, and think what you're doing is so incredible for the agricultural industry and honorable just to share those stories from all kinds of different people.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
She is farmer, student, and entrepreneur Kate Stevens. For more information about Kate's YouTube channel and her fashion line, go to our website, AmericanFarmlandOwner.com. You can also sign up for our free weekly newsletter focused on the latest stories, including stories about pioneers like Kate, plus the latest trends, challenges, and solutions for farmland owners, operators, and investors. Again, it's AmericanFarmlandOwner.com. Thanks for listening, and thanks for caring about the future of our farmland.